Americans aren't getting their recommended daily physical activity. This is a health crisis, and the solution is in our hands and our feet. It's on our shoulders. It's on our backs. It's in our souls. It's time to move and keep moving, America. Wherever you are, however you can. Movement reduces your risk of diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. It improves your brain function, pain management, and immune system. And when you need help, physical therapists and physical therapist assistants are by your side, increasing your strength and mobility and improving your quality of life through prescribed exercise and teamwork. Because we are meant to climb, to dance, to soar, to thrive. Choose to move. Choose physical therapy.
Join the conversation when you're on the go. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date. Newswatch 12, from where you live. Your weather forecast 24/7 on WJFW.com.
There's still ice in some of the trees, so please, please, please look up.
Right now on Newswatch 12 today, a rare form of winter storm is hitting the nation. Find out how intense and who this storm is expected to affect. Plus,
and we're getting affected by that same winter storm with snow moving in and winter storm warnings in effect. Your full forecast is coming up.
And see why Governor Evers is holding out hope for federal funding to avoid asking the state legislature. It's Thursday, December 22nd.
Newswatch 12 today with Michael Lodeholtz and Devin Biggs.
Good morning. Thanks for starting your day with us. I'm Michael Lodeholtz. And it wasn't as cold as it was yesterday morning getting out of bed. I didn't have to do any ice scraping, but just a little bit of snow dusting. And Devin Biggs is in our weather center to tell us just how much snow we can expect from this storm that we're seeing.
Yeah, so we already had about 2 inches of snow already on the ground, just about, though. We're actually over that, about 2.5 inches for this event, so, and we're still adding snow. As we speak, our Skycam showing snow that is falling out there. And now, of course, the snow and a blowing snow expected is also causing some road closure concerns, so definitely check the bottom of your screen there. We'll be running that school closing crawl throughout the show. But otherwise, so let's get things rolling here. We do have winter storm warnings for everybody now until 6 a.m. for your Saturday. And notice right here in the orange, that is also blizzard warnings in a few spots as well because of the strong winds expected. There is a chance we might see this upgraded in our neck of the woods, but either way, snow and blowing snow will be expected. So again, accumulating snow is only one piece of the puzzle here, as the watches right here tracking off towards the east. Another 1 to 2 inches of snow will be possible before we're all finished up. Let's give you the bigger picture. Located right about here, this line right here continues to track off towards the east. But again, a quick look at those temperatures real quick. We are in the teens in our viewing area, but these colder temperatures all toward the west and well below zero heading in our direction. Your forecast moving forward, snow and wind on the way. High temperatures being hit now in the lower teens, falling throughout the rest of the afternoon.
Governor Tony Evers says he isn't ruling out the use of state funds to construct a passenger rail line between the cities of Madison and Milwaukee. Evers told the Associated Press that he supports the proposed rail project, but was waiting to see what federal funds might be available before committing any state resources. On February 15th, Evers will deliver a 2-year state budget to the Republican-controlled legislature. The legislature will then spend the spring rewriting that plan before passing a budget likely in late June. Top Republican state lawmakers have already voiced their opposition to the rail project. When asked about the rail line earlier this month, Wisconsin Assembly Speaker Robin Vos said only, quote, no state funding. Governor Tony Evers doesn't have any plans to ban TikTok. Evers says that his office is in frequent contact with the FBI to make sure the app doesn't pose a security risk. But the governor said he isn't looking to outlaw the platform on state devices. Republican members of Wisconsin's congressional delegation called on Evers earlier this month to ban the app. They are concerned that the Chinese government could use TikTok to spy on users and spread propaganda. At least 14 governors in other states have ordered state employees not to use TikTok on government devices. And Governor Evers is promising to veto any flat income tax cut plan passed by the state legislature. Instead, he supports a proposed reduced taxes for the middle class by 10%. Evers came out against an idea that would tap part of the state's projected $6.6 billion budget surplus to move toward a flat income tax rate. Evers said the tax cut plan he released in August, as he was running the re-election, is what he will include in the two-year state budget he delivers to the legislature in February. Under that plan, taxes would be cut $600 million a year, including a 10% cut for individuals earning less than $100,000 and families earning less than $150,000. The legislature will rewrite the Evers budget proposal between February and likely late June before it goes back to the desk of the governor. The Republican National Committee has announced the dates for its 2024 National Convention. It'll be July 15th to the 18th, and it will be held in Milwaukee, where the RNC will officially select the next Republican presidential nominee. It approved Milwaukee as the host city back in August. Milwaukee was originally supposed to host the 2020 Democratic Convention, but before it was switched to a virtual format due to the pandemic. The Democratic National Committee hasn't yet picked a city for its 2024 convention. We could see brutal, once-in-a-generation winter weather this week. That's according to the National Weather Service. It predicts a bomb cyclone will hit the U.S. today, as Amy Kiley reports.
The National Weather Service is calling it a once-in-a-generation type event. It's predicting a bomb cyclone will hit the U.S. today into tomorrow. That's a brutal storm that rapidly intensifies in 24 hours. The service has issued winter weather alerts for more than 90 million people.
Visibility isn't great, and then when your car fogs up, it's really not good.
Now it's just getting white out.
The Weather Service says temperatures could be life-threatening in parts of the country today. It's put more than 87 million Americans under wind chill alerts. Drivers in some parts of the country are being extra cautious because salt can't melt ice in extreme cold.
I had ice built up on my wipers, so it's taken a couple of times to clear them off and scrape them.
Frostbite isn't the only danger for people on foot, according to this spokesperson for the National Park Service.
There's still ice in some of the trees, so please, please, please look up.
Meanwhile, some holiday air travelers are dealing with delays and cancellations.
We sort of have a general range of what may happen, but what will happen remains to be seen.
Forecasters say even southern states like Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia will see wind chills below zero this week.
Communities across the state are about to see temperatures that they haven't experienced in a decade or more.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Coming up, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky left Ukraine for the first time since the war with Russia began. Find out why he left and his mission now that he is in the United States. We'll be right back.
Hurry in to Macy's last-minute gift sale now for up to 60% off, plus an extra 20% off great gifts they'll adore. It's time to spend your Macy's money and pick up a gift card. Now at Macy's. Ghirardelli Caramel Squares. Makes life a bite better.
Hi, I'm Dr. Justin Scher, DC with the Spinal Aid Center of Wausau. Are you one of the millions of people suffering with the symptoms of peripheral neuropathy? Your symptoms may include numbness and tingling in your feet or hands, difficulty sleeping from leg or foot discomfort, and debilitating balance problems. I have good news for you. You can now get relief with our breakthrough treatment method without the use of drugs or surgery. Our treatments help to heal damaged nerves that cause peripheral neuropathy. If left untreated, you may eventually end up with a walker or wheelchair, so don't delay. Call our office now to schedule an appointment to see if our treatment methods are right for you. We will do a painless neuropathy severity exam to determine the amount of nerve loss. If you qualify for our treatment, it can truly change your life. Start living your life pain-free. Call today.
Celebrate the season with Jeopardy! Little-known holiday facts. Each year, Nova Scotia celebrates its friendship with this city by giving it a giant Christmas tree. What is Boston?
Jeopardy! Weekdays at 4:30 on NBC 12.
Bye-bye cough.
Later chest congestion. Hello, 12 hours of relief.
12 hours? Not coughing? Hashtag still not coughing?
Mucinex DM gives you 12 hours of relief from chest congestion in any type of cough, day or night. Mucinex DM. It's comeback season.
Welcome back. Our winter storm is starting to move through. Winter storm warnings are now in effect until 6 a.m. on Saturday. We've even added a few counties up in parts of the UP to blizzard warnings now. So definitely an impressive system. These here in the UP lasting until 6 p.m. on Saturday. But notice the difference in our neck of the woods, though. This is until 6 a.m. as we head towards Saturday. So either way, though, our winter storm is getting going, and it's a huge system. You heard all the alerts that are in effect, stretching all the way across a good part of the U.S., where wind chill warnings and advisories stretching farther down toward the south, hard freeze warnings along the Gulf Coast. Not something you see very often. I haven't seen a map like this in a long time either. So this just tells you how strong the system is and how rare it is as well. Let's zoom things in and break down the snow that's currently moving in. The snow is just one piece of the puzzle that's currently moving through. We'll keep this going for most of the daytime today. Another 1 to 2 inches of snow cannot be ruled out. We'll throw the radar into motion. The back line right about in here, but we'll still watch a little bit more snow that we'll try to push in as the daytime progresses. But again, the bigger picture is going to be the windy conditions here with a system that's going to be tracking off towards the east. That bomb cyclone, or bombogenesis, also known as called to, where the system does rapidly become stronger within a short amount of time, as you heard earlier. So that is why the system is really worrisome, with strong winds up to 50 miles per hour possible as well at its worst. So meanwhile, though, breaking this down, Futurecast, more snow moving in during the afternoon period. We'll get on the back edge of this here as we head towards later this evening. Then as the winds really become strong, look at the isobars here. Rarely you see something like this that's this strong, with a gusty north wind that can reach up around 40 to 50 miles per hour at times. So lake effect snow will also be a thing too, possibly feet of snow possible in parts of the UP with a heavier snow that will be expected there with the system. That'll be tracking on towards the north and east, so we'll keep the lake effect machine going till about Saturday. So here we go. Additional snowfall looks something like this. We're running this at least through parts of Thursday. So again, look at another 1 to 2, maybe up to 3 inches on top of what's already fallen already before we're all finished up. Lesser amounts further off towards the west as the system continues to track through. So again, it's going to be that big system, that bigger picture here, where it just rapidly intensifies and tracks off towards the north and east. So for us, though, it'll be snow and blowing snow, becoming more of a blowing snow danger as it tracks off towards the north and east. But again, with the lake effect snow, of course, some falling snow will be expected as well with the system as it begins to move away slowly. We won't start to calm things down until we head towards your Sunday. So, of course, the gusty winds. So those start to approach later today. Today, maybe not as bad, ranging from around 20 to 25 miles per hour in the northwoods, close to 30 to 40 miles per hour further down toward the south. Then we really become stronger as we head towards Friday afternoon, with around 40, yes, 50 miles per hour at times, ranging out of the northwest. So the winds will not be helping things out much. Power outages will be an issue, knocking some trees and tree branches down. So be prepared for possible power outages from the system. Right now, temperatures are in the teens out there, so it's cool, hitting our high temperatures right about now. And this right here will be moving in our direction with the cooler temperatures approaching by later this afternoon, as we'll fall into the single digits, and the winds will pick up as well. This color indicates some very low wind chills out toward the west, and yes, unfortunately, those types of wind chills will also be heading in our direction. So for today, 12 degrees, our high temperature being hit right about now. Snow and wind, some blowing snow as well, with that west wind getting up to about 25 miles per hour. For tonight, 8 below, snow and wind, some areas of blowing snow as well. The northwest wind gusting up to around 40 miles per hour at times. And your Northwoods Furniture and Mattress 7-day forecast for your Friday. More snow and blowing snow, although most of the falling snow will mainly be lake effect at that point, but the snow on the ground will blow around. Same general idea as we head towards your Saturday, with the intensity backing off. Just in time for Christmas Day, we calm down, and a change to the forecast. Looking dry next week, and the sunshine may also peek out in a few areas.
Symbols of the fight for democracy were on display in Washington on Wednesday. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky left his country for the first time since Russia's invasion nearly a year ago. He met with President Joe Biden and addressed a joint meeting of Congress. Amanda Sanson has more.
In a remarkable primetime address before a joint session of Congress.
Ukraine is alive and kicking.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky expressing gratitude for ongoing support from the U.S. amid Russia's invasion, with a gift from the front lines.
This flag is a symbol of our victory in this war. We stand, we fight, and we will win because we are united, Ukraine, America, and the entire free world.
And reminding Americans the fight for democratic values is not Ukraine's alone.
Ukrainian courage and American resolve must guarantee the future of our common freedom, the freedom of people who stand for their values.
The momentous speech on the heels of an historic White House visit, where President Joe Biden committed to an additional $1.8 billion in security assistance, including a new Patriot surface-to-air missile defense system.
The Patriot battery will be another critical asset for Ukraine as it defends itself against Russian aggression.
Zelensky's visit comes as Russia mounts unrelenting attacks on Ukraine's critical infrastructure.
Russia is using winter as a weapon, freezing people, starving people, cutting them off from one another.
The leaders uniting in a symbolic rebuke of Russian President Vladimir Putin, with the hopes a continued alliance will ultimately turn the tide and bring an end to the war.
We will stay with you for as long as it takes.
In Washington, I'm Amanda Sansoni.
Coming up in medical news, see how one of the largest retailers in the nation is settling a massive lawsuit in the wake of the opioid crisis. Plus, see how parents in some parts of the nation are coming up short for their children's medicine. Those stories and more health news when we return.
Let's go Christmas shopping at Mel's. Find trusted outdoor brands for this season's activities. Get outside and spend time doing the sports you love. Cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, or ice fishing. Or enjoy casual sport clothing for all occasions. Mel's Trading Post, a downtown Rhinelander landmark.
Liner wrecked my back. That's why we're going to Tomahawk Furniture and Gun. Mattress season? That would help my back. With mattresses as low as $139. Come on in, because everyone sleeps at Tomahawk Furniture and Gun.
A must in your medicine cabinet. Less sick days.
Cold coming on? Zicam is the #1 cold shortening brand.
Highly recommended.
Zifans love Zicam's unique zinc formula.
It shortens colds.
Zicam Zinc That Cold.
This Christmas, rock their world with a gift from Wickersham Jewelry. They have the hottest styles in diamonds and gold. You can even surprise her with rare polar pink sapphires. Check out silver and diamond jewelry that is essential to every woman's wardrobe. Take advantage of interest-free financing programs. And don't forget the men in your life with stocking stuffers starting at only $59. And of course, more diamonds and gold for her stocking. Visit Wickersham Jewelry, Rothschild, Marshfield, and Rhinelander.
The holidays are for making memories, and you can count on Honda to help you make them. Whether it's in a capable Ridgeline, adventurous CRV, a rugged Passport, or a dynamic Pilot. Start making memories of your own with a new Honda during Happy Honda Days. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
Benny's Appliance Service, serving Rhinelander, Eagle River, Minocqua, and surrounding area. 35 years of experience, prompt professional service on all brands, emergency service available.
Plain Parts Inc. sends you best wishes for a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year.
Rhinelander Brewery thanks you for your business this year and wishes you a safe and happy holiday season.
Let's go Christmas shopping at Mel's. Find trusted outdoor brands for this season's activities. Get outside and spend time doing the sports you love. Cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, or ice fishing. Or enjoy casual sport clothing for all occasions. Mel's Trading Post, a downtown Rhinelander landmark.
Snow continues to move through today. At least another 1 to 2 inches of snow possible today, maybe even up to 3 inches to the north and east. A lot more possible between now and this weekend for the UP as lake effect snow will kick in. Possibly feet of snow possible in these areas, but blowing snow will be a danger for everybody starting later this afternoon.
Walmart has reached settlement agreements with all 50 states as part of a $3.1 billion nationwide opioid settlement. Multiple states' attorney generals accuse the retail giant of failing to regulate opioid prescriptions and thereby contributing to the nationwide opioid crisis. The Office of New York Attorney General Letitia James co-led a coalition of attorney generals in the negotiation. She said the settlement will also include broad court-ordered requirements Walmart must comply with, such as robust oversight to prevent fraudulent prescriptions and flag suspicious prescriptions. Walmart said the settlement will provide significant aid to communities across the country in a fight against the opioid crisis. The company added it strongly disputes the allegations and that the settlements do not include any admission of liability. Frustrated parents in some parts of the country are reporting they can't find children's pain relievers. Manufacturers are aware of a shortage that is making formulations of Tylenol and Motrin for kids difficult to find. It's because demand is spiking due to increased cases of infections like influenza and RSV. The shortage is not nationwide, and the medications are more available in some areas than others. Experts say parents can look for generic store brands of acetaminophen or ibuprofen, which are just as safe and effective as name brands. Kids at certain ages can also take adult formulations, but parents should definitely consult with pediatricians because they can be dangerous for small children. Drug manufacturers have also ramped up production and expect to have store shelves stocked very soon. And the Biden administration says it will release Tamiflu from the strategic national stockpile to states and territories that ask for it in order to ease access to the medication. This as flu season hits earlier and harder than usual, straining resources. The FDA isn't currently listing Tamiflu as being in shortage. However, pharmacies and consumers in some areas are having a hard time finding generic Tamiflu. And the American Society of Health Systems pharmacists list some generic versions of Tamiflu as being in shortage. There are signs that infection rates are slowing in some areas, but flu activity still remains rather high. The CDC says all but 7 states are experiencing high or very high respiratory virus activity. And coming up next, the winter weather is here, and with it comes new opportunities. We'll tell you just how soon snowmobilers can bust out on the trails in the Northwoods. Stay with us.
Northwoods Accents, located in Mercer, features a wide variety of high-quality custom log and rustic furniture, all made in the USA. View our best craft living room sets, handmade products from local craftsmen, Denali blankets to warm your winter. All products have year-round low prices with no sales pressure. The owner is available to assist you with any questions. Stop by Northwoods Accents, 5079 US Highway 51 in Mercer.
Who doesn't love popcorn? Enter the Birthday Club contest on WJFW.com for your chance to win a half-gallon bucket of popcorn from Minocqua Popcorn and Puffs. Watch Newswatch 12 today, Monday through Friday, to see the lucky winner of the day.
The Diocese of La Crosse televised Mass, Sundays at 6:30 a.m. on this station. Please join Bishop Callahan and the priests and faithful of the diocese Sunday mornings at 6:30 a.m.
It's a red carpet affair this New Year's Eve at Ho-Chunk Gaming in Wittenberg. Dress to impress. There will be party favors, complimentary food from the Mint, a free photo booth, and live music from Video Star. Plus, hot seat drawings, barrel drawings for $1,000 cash. Then at midnight, a grand prize drawing for a Ford Explorer and $2,000 cash. Plus, another cash giveaway at 1 a.m. Earn entries throughout December to win big on New Year's Eve.
Bye-bye, cough.
Later, chest congestion. Hello, 12 hours of relief.
12 hours? Not coughing? Hashtag still not coughing?
Mucin XDM gives you 12 hours of relief from chest congestion in any type of cough, day or night. Mucin XDM. It's comeback season.
Sometimes life can give you some challenges.
Our team at Burns Insurance can help you through it all.
Remember to take time and enjoy the little things in life.
Happy holidays.
Featherstone Cabinetry and Design thanks you for your business this year and wishes you a Merry Christmas. Have a safe and happy holiday season.
Stay on top of breaking news and the biggest stories of the day with NBC News Daily. Get in-depth reporting from across the country and around the world, tips to take care of your health and your wallet, and up-to-the-minute local news. NBC News Daily, weekdays on NBC.
News Daily, brought to you by Builder Services and Rhinelander GM Auto Group.
All trails in Oneida and Vilas counties snowmobiles systems will officially open on Friday morning at 8 a.m. All lake and river trails are considered unsafe and should not be used unless they have been clearly marked by a local snowmobile club. Off-trail riding is trespassing and could result in closure or loss of trails and citations or fines. With the anticipated winter storm, including high winds and blowing snow, going into the Christmas holiday weekend, please use extreme caution while riding. Downed trees and low-hanging branches may be encountered. The trails are considered to be in rough, early season condition, so take that into consideration while enjoying the trails. And that's exactly right. It's going to be some rough weather ahead. Devin Biggs has been talking about it. He's on the weather deck right now, and riders better be careful out there.
For sure, and be careful shoveling, too. I just had to do a whole bunch of shoveling just now before going on the air, so forgive me if I'm out of breath. But I got to make sure to keep things shoveled as well, so please be careful as we do move forward. But otherwise, so again, as we get ready to enjoy some snowmobiling very soon, again, look at the flakes here. I mean, they're definitely decently sized flakes falling from the sky right now, but they're those fluffy flakes that are currently falling around. So for now, again, we're seeing things very snowy over in parts of Minocqua as well, as we are seeing, again, some road conditions that are still a little on the rougher side as well. Again, where you see the pink areas, snow and ice-covered roads being noted. In the blue shade, though, that is slippery stretched roads as well. So roads were not great this morning. So if you can stay home, definitely please do so. And things will become even more messy once the winds get involved. Here's the radar in satellite right now. So we are seeing the snow moving in from the west, going toward the east. We'll keep this going for most of today. And then by later on time, most of the snow will back off except for the lake effect, but the winds will blow a lot of this new snow around and make visibility a mess. Here we go, single digits across the western parts of the state today, and a lot of these highs will be hit early. For us, though, again, lower teens for highs early in the day, though, but temperatures falling in the afternoon. And while farther down toward the south, not too bad, though. We'll see temperatures again in the 30s with snow moving in. A little more coming up after the break.
If you ask us, picking out new furniture should be fun. And when you work with us, it is. Home Furniture's free design assistance in your home or in our store. Visit Home Furniture today to create a single sofa or an entire room. Dream it, create it, love it.
From big to small, Menards has it all. Finish cleaning your garage this holiday season with help from Shop Vac. This 6-gallon wet dry vac tackles the toughest messes, wet or dry. Get a 6-gallon vac for just $59.99. Save on our great selection of Rayovac batteries and stock up for everyday use or those battery-powered Christmas gifts. Save big money in all Rayovac high-energy batteries. Plus, a Menards gift card is always a great gift idea.
Warm season's greetings to you all from Menards.
There's only one place to turn for your local and high school sports highlights, analysis, and more. Friday Night Blitz on Newswatch 12, Fridays at 10 p.m. Brought to you by Trackside Sales and Service and Menke Buick GMC Mazda.
Hi, I'm Brian from Creative Granite. When I need the forecast from Minocqua, I go to WJFW.com for my hometown forecast.
Your hometown weather, available 24/7 at WJFW.com.
I have something for you.
I have something for you, too.
It's the holidays. Get 2.9% APR and no monthly payments for 90 days on turbo high-output engine Sierra light-duty models. Plus, current eligible GMC owners get $2,500 purchase allowance.
Stop into Home Furniture and Design for your immediate furniture needs. We have Lazy Boy, Smith Brothers, Ashley, and more ready for immediate delivery. Home Furniture and Design, West Grand Avenue, Wisconsin Rapids, and Post Road in Plover.
Newswatch 12 today with Michael Lodeholtz and Devin Biggs.
Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us today. I'm Michael Lodeholtz. Wisconsin's Department of Transportation is asking people to stay off the roads this Friday. They're predicting the roads won't be passable. But what happens if you can't stay home? Andrew Bassandra reports.
Don't underestimate this storm. The conditions are such and the temperatures are such that things like salt are going to be, in many cases, ineffective. It's just too cold, and the wind would blow the salt off the roadway anyway.
But if you absolutely have to travel,
be aware of changing conditions. Expect that you could find yourself in whiteout conditions where your visibility is severely limited.
If you're in that position, slow down or pull over. This storm is going to take the term winter wonderland to a whole new level. But how bad does it have to get for the highways to close?
Wisconsin doesn't proactively close highway, right? The weather closes the highway.
Logistically, keeping roads clear from Beloit all the way to the Northwoods is quite the task, but they've got this one down pat.
Each county is responsible for state-owned highway in their counties to make sure they keep that clear.
The DOT and the State Patrol say they'll have plenty of staffing, but you can do your own research too. Their Wisconsin 511 app now gives you access to more than 500 highway traffic cameras around the state.
If a traveler is going from, let's say, Madison to Wausau, you're able to view the winter road conditions in 511. You're also able to look at cameras along the route to see what the conditions are at that time.
The moral of the story is you can play in the snow. You can even hide in the snow like me right over here. But just don't drive in it.
Big storm on the way, and it's going to be a rough one out there. So everyone's better stay safe, pack your blankets, extra winter gear in your car, just in case the worst happens. And Devin Biggs is with us now, and I'm sure you can attest to, being prepared, doing all you can to stay safe this time.
Yeah, because obviously some people will still have to travel, like emergency workers. I mean, obviously we still got to be here as well.
Yeah,
and
we will.
Obviously we need to make sure that even us as we're outside need to be safe as well when making that commute. So that means allowing extra time, having your vehicle ready to go, and patience is definitely the key word as well, and just use good judgment.
Are you going to be on the weather deck tomorrow?
Yeah, well, we'll see how that. We'll see if we can make sure the camera, everything's working. But yeah, as long as it's safe out there, I'll be out there on that weather deck.
Oh boy, I'm looking forward to that.
We were out there when it was 10 below just the other day, or 17 below. So you can tell that it takes a little bit before we say no weather deck. Usually it's when it's very cold and it's not safe. Well, otherwise, though, for now we have snow that's currently developing across the region this morning. Minocqua is still experiencing some of that snow as well. And some people are traveling this morning. It looks like some cars covered in snow as well. So on top of dealing with that, again, the road's going to be very slippery in a few spots. So please be careful. But again, winter storm warnings here in pretty much everywhere you see pink. That's a winter storm warning there. And over in the orange shades, that's blizzard warnings right there, and that's including the UP. I wouldn't be surprised to see those expanded to our neck of the woods either, but for now, they're staying across as winter storm warnings in our neck of the woods. But the snow continues to track from the west going toward the east, and your hourly forecast showing temperatures that will be falling today with the snow and blowing snow expected as well. Temperatures falling below zero later this evening.
Nicolet College is launching its Winter 2023 Outdoor Adventure Program. More than 24 classes are being offered, including cross-country skiing, fat biking, snowshoeing, and permaculture. There are also hunting and fishing classes, including turkey hunting, ice fishing, and a 2-day muskie seminar. For more information on classes, go to nicoletcollege.edu/outdooradventure or call the college at the number on your screen. The Lakeland Area Mountain Biking Organization is lighting up the night. On Wednesday, December 28th from 5 to 8 p.m., lights will be placed along the beginner trails in the Northwoods Zipline property for a magical ride through the woods. Enjoy an evening around a bonfire at Fat Bikes by candlelight. Zip snowshoes trails will also be open. Volunteers will be available to share more about Lambo, the zip and other biking and snowshoe trails in the area. The event is free to the public, but donations are welcome and appreciated. All funds are used to build, maintain, and groom trails in the Lakeland area. Coming up, we have some news you can use, including just how much the home buying market has slowed down and how this is affecting prices. Plus, it has been a weird year for headphones. Find out what some of the oddest earwear of the year had to offer. Those stories and more consumer news after this.
Get up to 80% off list prices during our huge inventory reduction sale at Slumberland Furniture. $20 million worth of furniture and mattresses must go. Lowest prices around on recliners, sofas, mattresses, and lots more. Slumberland Furniture.
Northland Basement Systems is the all things basementy company. Basement waterproofing, basement finishing, basement structural repair, humidity and mold control, and nasty crawl spaces too. When it comes to basement solutions, nobody does it better than we do. Since 1991, homeowners just like you in the Northland have trusted Northland Basement Systems for all things basementy in their homes. Call Northland Basement Systems today to schedule a free home evaluation.
Book your reservation today for a sleigh ride this holiday season at Rocking W Stables in Eagle River. Scenic rides through the winter wonderland with a pit stop at a roaring fire. Enjoy hot cocoa while creating great memories with friends and family.
Merry Christmas from Trinity Lutheran Church and School and Child Care Center here in Merrill, Wisconsin, and a very happy new year. Happy birthday, Jesus!
What's your name, please?
My name is Archie Williams.
I'm Christina Ray.
My name is Terry Fader. Competition like this brings out the best in people. And this was you at your very, very best.
The biggest party in Hollywood is back.
You smell amazing.
Please rap. I've waited 20 years for this. You gonna wait?
Gerard Carmichael hosts the Golden Globe Awards, January 10th on NBC.
Up to 80% off list prices during our huge inventory reduction sale at Slumberland Furniture. $20 million worth of merchandise must go. Lowest prices around on mattresses, rugs, bar stools, sectionals, accent chairs, and more at Slumberland Furniture.
Alrighty, welcome back. We have plenty of things to break down, so let's get into this here. This is a winter storm warning in effect for everybody here until 6 a.m. Saturday morning. Yes, today is Thursday, so we have a couple days of this to go. That's blizzard warnings up in parts of the UP and areas anywhere that you see orange because, of course, winds that will get very strong at times for a prolonged period and reduced visibility. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some of that issued in our neck of the woods as well. So on top of that, though, look at all the alerts that are in effect because of all of this big system here. So we have wind chill warnings, wind chill advisories, hard freeze alerts in the farther southern parts of the U.S. Many places that don't normally see cold weather this time of the year, and yet all the way down toward the coast, they're seeing it. And, of course, with us under the winter storm warnings as well. So this is a very unusual system that's currently moving through. Let's get back here at home, though, and break down the snow. So the snow continues to fall with some of the heavier bands along into the east of Wausau and areas to the south as well. We're going to keep that going as the day progresses on. So let's zoom things out right now. So here's the back line. So it's going to track to the east. More energy is going to track from the south to the north along the front. So more snow will be possible pretty much along and east of Rhinelander as the day progresses on. But most of it will start to taper off later on tonight. But excuse me, we're going to see the low area of low pressure that will continue to track off towards the east. This thing's expected to really intensify, become what we call a bomb cyclone or bombogenesis for another term there, which means it's going to intensify very fast over a short amount of time. So futurecast moving forward, here we go. So this thing's going to continue to intensify, and all this will track off towards the north and east. So here's the snow right here. By about 5 o'clock, most of the organized snow will be done. We'll have some lake effect snow kicking in with the wind that will really gust out of the northwest at around 40 to 50 miles per hour at times. And then we're going to keep this going even in the parts of Friday. So travel's going to be really tough later today, even in the parts of tomorrow as well. And really by Saturday, again, really tricky across parts of the UP as well with the snow that will continue to fall. So here we go, about 1 to 2 inches of additional snowfall before we're all finished up. Maybe some of the higher totals further off towards the north and east. And then we'll run us a little bit more all the way through parts of the weekend, though, where we factor in the lake effect snow. And yeah, possibly a lot of snow on the way in those regions as well, courtesy of the lake effect that will be going from time to time. So again, the big system here will start to intensify, really get its act together, track off towards the north and east. And when you see all these circles of lines of equal pressure right here, that just tells you how strong the system will be with that northerly breeze that can reach up to 40 to 50 miles per hour at times as it tracks off towards the north and east. So here we go. Gusty winds possible today, not as bad, pushing up to 25 to 35 miles per hour. In a few spots, gusts up to 40 miles per hour kick in later tonight. Then we could be dealing with 40 to even 50 mile per hour gusts throughout the daytime tomorrow. and before it starts to back off a little bit as we head towards your Saturday. So here we go. Road conditions are not the greatest either. Again, everywhere you see this pink, that's snow or ice-covered roads, and most of them are snow-covered at this point. The blue shaded area indicating some slippery stretches as well. So not a great situation with this at all. So if you don't have to travel, definitely don't. But if you do have to get out, be prepared. Excuse me, though. We're going to be watching for this kind of moving forward as things do move forward. But otherwise, here we go. Temperatures right now, they're currently in the teens here. So this is currently our high temperatures for the day. With all this right here, now moving from the west to the east with temperatures that'll be below zero. So this is a very big system that is developing. And, of course, feels like temperatures will begin to track off towards the east as well. And we could be dealing with 20 to 30 below temperatures moving forward. So a forecast for today, 12 degrees, snow and wind blowing snow. That west wind getting up to 25 miles per hour at times. But for tonight, though, 8 below, snow and wind again, blowing snow. Northwest wind up to 40 miles per hour. Northwoods Furniture and Mattress, 7-day forecast. So again, 1 to 2 inches of additional snowfall today. It starts to back off later tonight with... excuse me, we're going to be watching for, again, more snow that'll begin to move forward. And then again, drying out next week.
Thanks, Devin. Persistently high home prices and mortgage rates topping 7% pushed U.S. home sales down for the 10th month in a row in November. Existing home sales dropped 35.4% last month from a year earlier, dropping 7.7% from October. That's according to a National Association of Realtors report released Wednesday. Home sales have been dropping since February, the longest streak of declining sales on record going back to 1999. People are buying homes at the slowest rate in 12 years, except for May of 2020, when the pandemic stalled the housing market. Despite this trend, some prices are still going up, albeit at a slower pace. The median home price was $370,700 in November. That's a 3.5% jump from a year earlier. Headphones are getting weirder. All you have to do is look at the pictures to see that it's true. Just one example, a $949 pair of air purifying headphones from Dyson, or bone conduction headphones, which transmit sound through vibrations on the user's skull, or open ear earbuds, which similarly don't block the ears. So why the sudden rush to gin up consumer excitement with quirky updates? One factor, smartphones and smartwatches look roughly the same from year to year, and introducing unique headphone designs is a way to stand out. Another factor is the evolution of the headphone technology, like noise cancellation and built-in wireless. There's also the fact that many people have multiple pairs of headphones they want tailored to the different type of settings and scenarios they have for their days. A post office in a small Connecticut town is being swamped with a holiday rush that's become a holiday tradition. People are sending Christmas cards from the town of Bethlehem to get a specialty designed postmark with the town's name. The postmaster and his staff have added a special postmark by hand to letters and cards since 1938. Holiday well wishes choose from 87 different options designed by local residents, artists, and school children. The designs are only available from the day after Thanksgiving to December 31st. The postmaster expects to stamp about 85 to 90,000 postmarks this year. And holiday travel starting this week is projected to be the biggest it has been in about 3 years, with AAA forecasting numbers just shy of pre-pandemic levels. That's a lot of people on the roads, at airports, and a lot of stress. In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan has the 5 travel tips from experts to make your trip just a little bit easier.
Busy roads, packed airports, and a lot of stressed holiday travelers.
2022 will be the highest since 2018 and 2019, but not quite as high.
With AAA projecting nearly 113 million people will travel 50 miles or more from December 23rd to January 2nd. Here's some advice from travel experts to make your trip smoother and avoid the most chaos. If you're flying, expect larger crowds. AAA says air travel will see a 14% increase over last year. The first tip, avoid checking a bag. Try only bringing a carry-on.
If your flight gets canceled or you miss a connection, it's far easier to get put on a new plane and be nimble if you don't have a checked bag that they have to go find.
Tip number 2. If you have to check a bag, here are some tips to avoid losing it. A lot of airlines allow you to track your checked luggage on their app. But here's another idea. Tip number 3. Take a tracker like this Apple AirTag and drop it in your bag to track its journey.
It's one of the better tips, especially considering the number of flight disruptions and the number of mishandled bags.
And tip number 4. If you're hitting the road, AAA recommends avoiding these most congested days: Friday before Christmas and coming home on December 27th and 28th.
Since both holidays, both Christmas and New Year's, fall on a weekend this year, then the Friday before the weekend will be a very busy travel day.
In 5, when it comes to saving on gas, Gas Buddy says a little bit of planning goes a long way.
Shop around. They could be leaving low gas prices behind, or the low gas prices could be on the road in front of them.
For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Your football team has 11 players in the field that everyone has to do their job. We have 394 kids that have to do their job perfectly to do this right.
Coming up at 6, the Northwoods Band is gearing up for the Rose Parade in Pasadena, California. Find out how the band has been preparing all year long for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Season's greetings from Northwoods Furniture and Mattress. We wish you all a holiday season filled with joy and laughter and family and friends. As we wrap up another year, we would like to thank all our customers for choosing to shop our family-owned furniture stores, and we look forward to our future customers as well. Your support is truly appreciated. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us here at Northwoods Furniture and Mattress.
Excellent. I want it.
Ready, Dad?
All charged up.
This holiday season, Ford wants to help you shine bright with a special offer. Now choose from a great selection of new Ford vehicles in stock and ready for delivery. Or place a custom order on select Ford vehicles, lock in your rate, and you're protected.
I'm proud of you, kid.
And that's how Ford is helping you shine bright. This season, get into a 2022 Explorer SUV with 2.9% financing for 60 months at your local Ford dealer and shine bright.
Hurry in to Macy's last-minute gift sale now for up to 60% off, plus an extra 20% off great gifts they'll adore. It's time to spend your Macy's money and pick up a gift card. Now at Macy's. Ghirardelli Peppermint Bark Squares makes the holidays a bite better.
At Kasarik Automotive, we measure our success in positive impacts, ones we can make in the lives of our guests and the life of our communities. As a neighbor, we invest in tomorrow. As a friend, we reach out with helping hands. And as a family, we grow together. We give back not just because we can, but because we care and believe that when everyone does a little, we accomplish a lot. We look forward to continuing our journey together. From everyone, everywhere in the Kasarik family, thank you for everything.
And welcome back. Head out to the Leayawkey Woodson Art Museum in Wausau to connect with Wisconsin's favorite headwear, the Stormy Cromer. Running until February 26th, the exhibit Stormy Cromer Evolution of a Classic explores how these caps are woven into Wisconsin culture. The history of the hat is part of why we still love it today. A pull-down ear band stitched to a baseball cap kept a train worker's head warm and dry during winter winds. The exhibit is part of a larger installation at the museum called Global Language of Headwear. Visit lywam.org for more information. And speaking of Stormy Cromer, the decades-old tradition of building Snowy Cromer, a 2-story tall snowman, has returned. It's a wintertime staple in Minocqua that brings a little extra cheer to travelers on Highway 51 and beyond. Newswatch 12's Kyle Pazorski visited the site of the snowman's construction and has this report.
Are really excited to be able to put Snowy Cromer back up.
It's been 3 years since Snowy Cromer graced the front lawn of the Let's Minocqua Visitor Center.
From year to year, we're never really sure it's going to work out.
Chamber Executive Director Crystal Westfall says the familiar smiling snowman has traveled far outside of the Lakeland area.
Phone calls from Singapore and New Zealand that they'd seen him on TV.
As you can guess, it takes quite a bit of work to build the 30 to 40 foot tall snowman.
We got to haul snow in, clean snow from the town of Minocqua. We got this stuff from the post office. The fire department comes in after we do it, and they hose it down with some water, get it nice and firm so it doesn't melt right away.
The purpose of it all? Well, they say the legendary snowman brings a warm spot to anyone who sees him.
This snowman, he touches the hearts of people around the world.
You know, it's just something we can donate our time to. People drive by and they smile, makes it all worth it in the end.
Reporting in Minocqua, Kyle Pazorski, Newswatch 12.
Well, it's nice to see Snowy coming back to the Minocqua area. And another frozen man out in the woods or out on a weather deck, perhaps, is Devin Biggs, right out in the cold this morning. Devin, how you doing out there?
Yeah, so it's a little freezing out here in some areas.
Freezing.
Yeah, I know. We're in the teens, so we're definitely below freezing. And the snow is falling. It's that light, fluffy snow that is falling in many areas, though. And the flakes have gotten pretty big at times as well, so definitely very exciting to see a lot of the snow that does continue to develop. Otherwise, so again, here we go. Minocqua, again, the snow does continue to fall. Nice little blanket of snow. Here in Rhinelander, we have about 13 inches of snow on the ground already for our snow depth. So that's what's on the ground right now. Road conditions are not the greatest either. Anywhere you see pink, that's snow or ice-covered roads. So it's not the greatest out there right now. So if you don't have to travel, definitely don't. But if you do have to, allow extra time, take it slow, and have maybe some emergency preparedness kit in your vehicle just in case. Radar and satellites showing the snow tracking from the west to the east, and more will continue to fall, and kind of like here, we're going to be dealing with some heavy bursts of that snow from time to time as well. Here's your travel forecast moving forward. So we're going to be watching for temperatures that'll be chilly out there, single digits across the western parts of the state. Again, for us, the snow will continue to fall as the day progresses on, and temperatures hit early in the low teens and falling during the afternoon. Further down to the south, more snow and temperatures a little bit warmer. A little more coming up after the break.
How many times have you searched the same thing? What to make for dinner, kid-friendly meals, easy party food? Stop searching and look no further than the Mr. Food Test Kitchen with new recipes every day on Newswatch 12 Today and Newswatch 12 at 6. The Test Kitchen has you covered for every meal, snack, and craving. Now, how many ways can you say, "Ooh, it's so good"? Mr. Food Test Kitchen, brought to you by Creative Kitchen and Bath Studio and Golden Carrot Jewelers.
Welcome to the one and only Lakeland Furniture in Minocqua. Same great location, plus added lines of furniture and an all-new mattress section. Lakeland Furniture and Mattress, Highway 51 South, Minocqua.
If you're a contractor or do-it-yourselfer, make Argonne Lumber your first stop. High-quality materials, personalized service, expert staff, and delivery are just some of the things Argonne Lumber is known for. Stop in and smell the lumber at Argonne Lumber, 2 locations in Argonne and Rhinelander.
Accidents happen, and when they do, demand the best. At Shimkus Auto Body, we believe in quality work. Our certified technicians have years of experience and care about your car. At Shimkus Auto Body, you know you'll be dealing with a company that's been in business for over 30 years. We're so proud of our work that we've put our family name right on the door. Shimkus, a name you can trust.
Bye-bye cough. Later chest congestion. Hello, 12 hours of relief.
12 hours? Not coughing? Hashtag still not coughing?
Mucin XDM gives you 12 hours of relief from chest congestion and any type of cough, day or night. Mucin XDM. It's comeback season.
Hi, I'm Jessica Whitewing Clark from Ho Chunk Gaming Wittenberg. When I want the forecast for Wittenberg, I go to WJFW.com and check my hometown weather.
Your hometown weather, available 24/7 at WJFW.com.
Newswatch 12 Today with Michael Lodeholtz and Devin Biggs.
Welcome back, and you probably have heard it said this week and this morning, this storm moving across the Midwest is being called a bomb cyclone. But what does that mean exactly? The term applies to a rapidly strengthening storm that gets fuel from rapid pressure drops. And generally, pressure must drop 24 millibars within 24 hours, but that number can change depending on your geographical latitude. The term was first used in a research paper in Monthly Weather Review in 1980, and the authors coined a phrase to describe these rapidly deepening storms, and they used the word bomb because of the explosive power they get from the super fast pressure drops. And there's another term with this as well, bombogenesis.
Bombogenesis. So many fun words. So it's not a polar vortex?
Well, let's see here. Yeah, I mean, the system is going to be pulling in cold air right behind it, though.
Okay.
So it's basically going to be pulling down a wave of the polar vortex that's basically up in parts of the North Pole. So basically, it's just that body of cool air. So the system is kind of its own separate entity, for lack of a better term.
Gotcha. So it's bumping into a bunch of things.
Pretty much. I mean, although the cold weather kind of works with these systems as well. So that's why you can sometimes see these blasts of cool air coming right after a system like this.
I was always curious, a polar vortex, you know, it's from the Arctic Circle up there in the North Pole. Now, when it comes down, what's left behind?
Well,
is it still just cold air up there?
Well, there's still cold air up there, though, but sometimes they can get wavy, so sometimes there's some pushes of warm air on some other sides as well. So keyword is wave, so you have your ridge and your trough, kind of the same general behavior. It just depends on how the polar vortex is behaving. So obviously right now, it's definitely cool for us. So we got some cold air definitely pulled down. And of course, the jet stream, too, kind of messes with that, too. So that's kind of that leading edge for that polar jet stream right now.
Goodness gracious, and like almost the whole country seems to be experiencing this storm.
Oh my gosh.
It's wild.
We have advisories all the way down to Florida because of these cold temperatures, and of course, I mean, hard freeze alerts, freeze watches, even wind chill warnings and watches in places that normally don't see this. So this is as unusual for them, but I mean, for us, it's like business as usual, so.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about all like the fruit crops we got down there, like oranges and like all the other things that happen in Florida that, you know, they don't see this weather.
And there's already a shortage of everything going on, so if this gets zapped by the cold weather, this could equal some higher prices at the grocery store again.
Exactly.
Just watch. We'll run a story about that within the next week or so. But otherwise, let's get into the next 3 days real quick, though. We do have more snow and blowing snow on the way. Maybe start to back off a little bit by Saturday. A little more coming up after the break.
Save big on all Metabo power tools and accessories now at Menards. Metabo offers a huge selection of products such as nailers, saws, drills, drivers, bits, and more. Now you can tackle the toughest jobs with a powerful 18-volt cordless impact driver. This driver provides innovative solutions, keeping your job site more productive than ever. That's why Metabo is the choice of pros. Save big on Metabo now at Menards. Plus, a Menards gift card is always a great gift idea.
All season's greetings to you all from Menards.
From all of us at Burns Insurance, we want to thank you for your continued business.
We want to wish you a very safe and healthy holiday season. Happy holidays.
Looking for that unique holiday gift? A gift basket from Lake Nokomis Cranberries will brighten anyone's holiday. Custom gift baskets are available online at LakeNokomisCranberries.com or visit the gift shop on County D.
I experienced upper back and neck pain and tightness that caused severe tension headaches pretty much on a daily basis.
Hi, I'm Dr. David Drager. The first thing we do when somebody comes as a new patient is we sit down and we listen. We talk, we have to put the puzzle together. Part of it is you have to have an accurate diagnosis. So many people come in with a misplaced diagnosis and it leads to years of unnecessary pain.
After regular chiropractor adjustments and the Atlas Profilix treatment, my symptoms are gone. I feel amazing. I'm grateful for my care that I experienced at Drager Chiropractic.
journey to North Star Mohican Casino Resort, where winning, excitement, and entertainment unite. This December, 'tis the season to win your share of over $325,000 in cash and prizes, including your chance to win up to $40,000 with our Cashing Through the Snow promotion December 9th and 23rd. Receive 1 entry for every 25 points earned bi-weekly in December. Earn 3 times entries on Fridays. Come to where the stars align at North Star Mohican Casino Resort in Bowler, Wisconsin.
Crossroads County Market sends you best wishes for a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year.
Right now on Newswatch 12 today, we'll tell you about a local snowmobile club's unique sign sale to welcome the sledders. Plus,
and the snow is moving in right now. That light and fluffy snow will continue to have more falling before the wind starts to pick up. Your full forecast is coming up.
And everyone's favorite Bob Ross is inspiring the DNR to get creative. Find out their plans for a reforestation. It's Thursday, December 22nd.
Newswatch 12 today with Michael Lodeholtz and Devin Biggs.
Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us today. I'm Michael Lodeholtz. Jackie has the day off. It's less than 2 weeks until the Rose Parade, though, where members of the Northwoods Marching Band will fill the streets of Pasadena, California. On Wednesday, the kids had one last rehearsal to work out the finishing touches. Newswatch 12's Matt Weaver has the story.
Can you smell the roses? Well, these kids can.
You're not marching just for your school, you're marching for all of our communities combined. They're all here and they're all rooting for those kids.
Members of the Northwoods Marching Band are preparing to shine in the national spotlight.
Your football team has 11 players on the field that everyone has to do their job. We have 394 kids that have to do their job perfectly to do this right.
It's a vision that's now 4 years in the making.
Watching them grow and experience something different that they haven't experienced before, and to come here and go, oh, I can be better. Oh, I didn't realize I could push myself that hard.
Today was their last rehearsal before they packed their instruments for the Golden State.
It's not like, all right, I'm gonna go 80%. No, it's a full go. If it's up, it's up. And we've worked on that in our classrooms, and that's today, it was like, that's where it paid off. Because they get one chance. And so all of that extra time has come for that one chance, 5.5-mile chance, but that one chance to make that happen.
While they long for the time in the sun, they're making the most in the Merrill Fieldhouse for now.
In here, like it's shrunk. And so when you get out there, it's gonna look that much bigger because we're gonna be spread out all the way across. So the kids modified today, and they modified really well.
All to make their fellow Wisconsinites proud.
The families, the communities, to be able to come together and say, hey, those are our kids. All out there marching together, all together, we're bringing in the new year for the United States, and so can't wait.
In Merrill, Matt Weaver, Newswatch 12.
That looks like a great time, and I actually got to see the Northwoods Band perform in Three Lakes earlier this year on the 4th of July. That was a great time. They were on point, and so many schools came together to make this a great event. And I know they hit a bunch of 4th of July parades in preparation for this, and Devin Biggs is here in the news studio and in the Weather Center. And hopefully, you know, our weather might be a little colder, but maybe they'll have some good stuff in California.
Yeah, hopefully, usually they have some decent weather over in California for the Rose Bowl parade. But meanwhile, though, here it's definitely a winter wonderland. And it looks like the plows are already added here this morning, as they should be. You can see the snow just continues to fall this morning as a result. Look at all the advisories here. The computer really has to ingest all this in because there's so many advisories in effect here. Winter storm warnings here in the pink here until 6 a.m. Saturday. Blizzard warnings in the orange until 6 a.m. Saturday as well. Long story short, snow and blowing snow. Some additional accumulating snow is possible, but the bigger concern will be the blowing snow, reducing visibilities at time too. But otherwise, though, we're watching all this here, tracking from the west, going toward the east, and then it might slow down a bit because we'll get another boost of moisture coming in as we head towards the afternoon to the evening time frame. But really, here's the big system right here, really tracking off towards the south and east, so more areas will see this as it does develop. But again, your forecast moving forward for today, we're in the teens right now for those current temperatures. We're pretty much hitting at now. We're going to fall into the single digits later this afternoon. Wind chills well below 0.
Thanks, Devin. The St. Germain Bo Bowen Snowmobile Club is giving riders the chance to own a little piece of history. They will be hosting a sale of older and vintage Bo Bowen trail signs at the end of January. Signs will be available on a first-come, first-served basis, and the sale will be cash only. This is a great way to support the club while preserving the history of snowmobiling in the Northwoods. The sale will take place on January 28th from 9 a.m. to noon at the Bobo and Groomer Barn. The barn is in the St. Germain Community Park area behind the fire station. Find the Bobo and Snowmobile Club on Facebook if you're interested in any more information. The Wisconsin DNR is partnering with the Michigan DNR in the Happy Little 5K. It's a virtual race inspired by the artist Bob Ross and his love of painting happy little trees. The proceeds of the event go towards tree planting and forest health efforts to combat invasive species in state parks. You choose your own start and finish line for your 5K, and as long as you reach the finish line by Earth Day, you win. Everyone who participates will receive a Happy Little t-shirt, a commemorative bib, and a finisher's medal. It's $34 to register. Go to the DNR's Out WI Go webpage to register now. And up next on Newswatch 12 today, we'll tell you how the frozen north of Alaska is doing and looking beyond it. See how folks are managing a winter even more brutal than what we might be seeing today and tomorrow. Stay with us. We're going to be back in 2 minutes.
Featherstone, unmistakably Featherstone, far from ordinary, right at home. You have dreams, make them reality. Featherstone, unmistakably, unmistakably, unmistakably Featherstone.
Here, there are no limits to your potential, to your options, to our reach. It's all limitless. For added flexibility, for more affordability, for increased employability. Because by removing limits, your future becomes limitless.
The best way to start your day is with a cup of coffee from Eagle River Roasters. Newswatch 12 Today wants to get that coffee to you through the Mugshot Monday contest. Enter online and watch Monday mornings to see if you're the lucky winner.
2 loads of snot-covered laundry. Only 1 will be sanitized.
Wait, what?
Adding Lysol Laundry Sanitizer kills 99.9% of bacteria. Detergent alone can't. Clean is good. Sanitized is better.
Menke Automotive is your new neighbor in central Wisconsin, so now you've got a friend in the auto business. Menke Automotive prides ourselves on having happy employees, because happy employees make for happy customers. When you need a new Buick, GMC, or Mazda, expert service, precision body work, or just a hot cup of coffee, come in and get to know us at Menke Automotive at the old Fred Miller location on Grand Avenue in Schofield. Menke Automotive, your new neighbors in central Wisconsin.
Welcome back. Lots to unpack here this morning. Let's get right into this. This right here is a winter storm warning in effect until 6 a.m. on Saturday. Yes, today is Thursday, so we have quite a while to put up with this yet. The orange shades here, this right here is a blizzard warning. It's in effect until 6 p.m. in parts of the UP. I would not be surprised to see this expanded further down to the south, but for now this is maintained as a winter storm warning, at least at this point. Let's zoom things out. There's a lot of advisories in effect. This just tells you just how unusual the system is. We have wind chill warnings about over here, wind chill advisories in other spots, and they're already reaching further down toward the south and parts of Georgia and just areas that don't normally see cool temperatures like this. Even in parts of Texas, there's also some hard freeze watches and warnings up too. Even parts of Florida seeing some of these alerts too. So this is just a very unusual system with all these alerts in effect across a good part of the U.S. We'll zoom things back in here and talk about the snow. We have plenty of snow that is still developing. A lot of heavier snow just to the east of Wausau and over east of Portage County right now, tracking off towards the east, a little bit to the north and east. We'll throw the radar into motion. This has been kind of the general behavior. We'll have more of this moving in later on this afternoon, mainly along to the east of Highway 51 is kind of the general idea here. So further out towards the west, not as much additional snowfall, but still another couple inches of additional snowfall possible along to the east of Highway 51. Here's the big picture right now. So again, this area of low pressure is going to be tracking off towards the east and really intensifying over the next 24 hours or so. That is why this is being called a bomb cyclone, or some of you might be hearing bombogenesis too, which means this thing just intensifies in a big hurry, and you'll see that in the forecast in a few seconds. But futurecast moving forward for today, more snow will be moving in during the afternoon period. Most of the organized snow will be done later this evening, but look how intense this gets. We have plenty of strong winds as well, so lake effect snow that will sneak down too. This just indicates how strong the wind will be. We can see north to northwest winds reaching out around 40, even 50 miles per hour at times. And of course, plenty of lake effect snow as well. Parts of the UP can be measuring the snow in feet before we're all finished up. And we'll continue the lake effect through Friday, even in parts of Saturday before it begins to back off. Additional snowfall looks like this. Maybe another couple inches of snow or so before we're all finished up. Maybe up to 3 to 4 inches further off towards the north and east. And then we'll advance this just a little bit more through parts of Saturday. We'll look at this. Definitely some decent snowfall farther off towards the north, and some of these areas could be measuring it in feet before we're all finished up. So again, some decent snowfall on the way, courtesy of the lake effect machine that'll begin to get going soon with the wind, which looks a little bit like this. So the pressure gradient just deepens as this thing tracks out towards the north and east. And of course, this is just a perfect angle to get some lake effect snow going. And we'll keep that going Friday into parts of Saturday before it finally begins to back off late Saturday into parts of Sunday. Of course, the gusty winds out of the northwest at around 25 to 35, even up to 40 miles per hour today. So today, not as bad. Tomorrow, just a little bit worse, with gusts up to 40, even 50 miles per hour at times. Power outages will be an issue. Travel will be a mess as well. If you don't have to travel, definitely don't. If you have to, take it slow, allow extra time, have an emergency kit ready to go just in case. Airports will be a mess as well with this system currently moving through. And the roads are a mess as well. Here we go. Snow or ice-covered roads. Most of this will be snow-covered at this point. And of course, the blue areas indicating some slippery stretches already. Roads are a mess out there with the snow currently moving through. Temperatures a little quicker in the teens across our viewing area. We're hitting our high temperatures now. These cooler temperatures off toward the west will be moving in our direction. And of course, it will feel cooler as well. Already feeling like 0 in Rhinelander. And look at this, 20 below wind chills off toward the west, and that is heading in our direction. Your forecast for today, 12 degrees, snow and blowing snow possible at times. It'll be windy with that west wind getting up to about 25 miles per hour. For tonight, 8 below, snow and wind, some blowing snow on the way. The northwest wind gusting up to around 40 miles per hour at times. Northwoods Furniture and Mattress, 7-day forecast. Friday, more snow and a little bit of wind as well. Most of this will be blowing snow on the ground and some lake effect too. More of the same Saturday, but the intensity will begin to back off just a bit. Looking better just in time for Christmas Day. The Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the sun starts to sneak out next week with temperatures starting to warm up into the teens and 20s.
Low temperatures in some parts of the country are breaking records or are near records. So why not send someone who has never been before to those sorts of conditions right into the thick of it? NBC's Kerry Sanders works out of Miami, so the network decided to send him as far away as they could and still keep him in the United States, to the North Pole, Alaska, and on the shortest day of the year.
It's a late start this day for third-generation Alaskan Corey Eberhardt, 8:40 a.m. The sun still won't be up until 11 a.m. But darkness and extreme cold are no excuses to put off chores at his aptly named Taste of Alaska Lodge.
Feels like the middle of the night. The moon is up and it's really dark.
Yeah, sometimes you wake up and you find out it's still 3 in the morning and you think it could be 6.
Today on this, the shortest day of the year, the sun in the greater Fairbanks area will hug the horizon for only 3 hours, 42 minutes. In that darkness, life goes on.
All right, hey!
Dogs still pull sleds here, but 23-year-old native musher Izzy Rice tells me more often it's to give tourists a sense of what Alaskans hold dear, while in the process, dispelling myths.
But we got regular houses just like everybody else up here.
And everybody wonders if you live in igloos?
Yeah.
And did you take a dog sled to school as a kid?
I did not. No, I rode a bus.
Even locals say 4 months of more darkness than light can be depressing.
But during these very long dark days, there are some magical moments. The Northern Lights.
It's like colorful wind through the sky.
Alaska, our 49th state, a spot of stunning beauty that draws tourists from around the world, but rarely in winter.
Love it.
Yeah,
Is there any beauty in this darkness?
I think so. You can really see the stars. The stars are amazing, too.
Alaska's indigenous people long ago celebrated the Chena Hot Springs.
When you use the healing waters, it makes you 10 years younger, and you feel like a young rooster.
But first, there's a rule for visitors from the lower 48, liquid courage. The springs are a steaming 106 degrees.
Oh, it's warm.
The largest group bobbing right now, Alaskans.
I just feel a little frozen and crispy.
The ironically named Summers family often goes viral,
We were praying for snow, then we got it.
explaining how they survived this brutal environment.
Stay inside. Yeah, we do stay inside.
Okay, I'm freezing. Let's get in here. Everybody warm me up here. Come on.
There we go. The Christmas spirit, infectious.
Yeah. You like magic? Yeah. Well, so do I.
With just days to go.
And from the North Pole, Merry Christmas! Ho, ho, ho!
And coming up, we have What's Trending, including finding out just how valuable Santa's pad in the North Pole really is. But plus, we have a rambunctious llama making a daring escape. Join us for the adventure to see if police can chase it down. Those stories up next in What's Trending.
If I had $1 million, maybe we can put like a little tiny fridge in there somewhere.
You know, we could just go up there and hang out.
Like open the fridge and stuff, and there'll always be food laid out for us with little pre-wrapped sausages and things. They have pre-wrapped sausages, but they don't have pre-wrapped bacon.
Well, can you blame them?
This December, play at the Mole Casino and Lodge during the 23 days of Christmas. Redeem 25 same-day points at one of our kiosks and pick a gift from the Mole Christmas tree. Only at the Mole Casino and Lodge.
Get up to 80% off list prices during our huge inventory reduction sale at Slumberland Furniture. $20 million worth of furniture and mattresses must go. Lowest prices around on TV consoles, recliners, bar stools, sofas, mattresses, and lots more. Get the deal of a lifetime on clearance, one-of-a-kinds, scratch and dents, and more. Stores are packed with merchandise that must go. Up to 80% off at the huge inventory reduction sale on now at Slumberland Furniture.
This will fit in your sleigh.
When they're sick, they get comfortable anywhere and spread germs everywhere. Wherever they rest, protection. Nothing kills more viruses, including the COVID-19 virus, on more surfaces than Lysol disinfectant spray. Lysol, what it takes to protect.
Hi, I'm Katie from Featherstone Cabinetry and Design. When I want my local forecast for Minocqua, I go to WJFW.com and check my hometown weather.
Your hometown weather, available 24/7 at WJFW.com.
Get Macy's lowest prices of the season now on furniture and mattresses, like the Radley Shays Sectional, $19.99, and game table sets starting at $5.99. Plus, get up to 50% off select mattress closeouts, now at Macy's.
Ghirardelli Peppermint Bark Squares makes the holidays a bite better.
Celebrate and play at the Mole Casino and Lodge. Win cash during New Year's Eve drawings December 30th and 31st. Redeem 25 same-day points per entry. Entertainment each evening starting at 8 p.m. Only at the Mole Casino and Lodge.
And welcome back to Newswatch 12 today. We're missing Jackie this morning, but we're powering on here. I hope she's enjoying her time off.
Yeah, for sure. I think she's, a little under the weather, I think.
A little under the weather, maybe just catching up on that sleep, you know. We all need it.
Wouldn't blame her. I mean, it's going to be a tricky shift at times, and of course, lots of illnesses going around.
True. Perhaps it was the weather that you were predicting that put her under. All this cold weather scared her away.
Probably, although she would have dealt with it back in Washington State, too. But otherwise, those some good stories, right?
Yes. If you want to live like Santa Claus, plan to pay a pretty penny for the North Pole pad. Zillow says Chris Kringle's property is now worth over $1 million. $1,154,137 to be exact. Of course, the property is not real, but still, that's a value jump of 12% over the past year. According to the real estate listing website, St. Nick's home sits on 25 acres and it was constructed in the 1800s. It features 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a floor-to-ceiling fireplace, accommodations for the elves, and a gourmet kitchen for baking. Zillow first listed the fictional property 6 years ago for just over $650,000. Since then, the site says the property's price has soared 77%.
Wow. Thanks, inflation. Thanks a lot.
Inflation's, really got Santa thinking that he might be willing to relocate. Apparently, the North Pole's a poppin' spot.
I mean, obviously, right? I mean, it's historical, been around since the 1800s, it says.
Exactly.
And, all the classical movies that we get to enjoy when we get to see the North Pole, and obviously, I mean, you gotta get all the toys out.
Perhaps he's looking to upgrade. Maybe he just needs more elves, more, bacon and all that sort of things as well. And get a 4-bedroom, 3-bath.
Maybe, or just more fireplaces as well, because how comfortable would it be to be around a fireplace, especially this time of the year, especially with snow falling outside right now?
That would be comfortable.
For sure. But for now, our next story, you are looking at Heidi. Take a cool deep in this new home at the National Marine Aquarium in the United Kingdom. The turtle came from the first veterinarian-led turtle rescue center. And, why did he say that?
In the Maldives.
Maldives. That's what I was going to say first, but usually my luck, I mess these up. But where he underwent surgery after being entangled in abandoned fishing gear in 2018. The injuries were so severe that he lost the use of both his front flippers, and one of them had to be amputated. After 4 years, he is being reacquainted with other marine animals, and the curator says it will take time for him to adjust since he hasn't been around others in so long. And the 64-pound animal cannot be released back into the wild because he won't survive on his own. And yeah, when you lose your flippers like that, that's kind of tough. You need those special accommodations. It's great to see that mankind can help this turtle out and at least allow it to at least interact with animals.
Absolutely. I mean, that was a cute-looking turtle regardless. I liked how the camera, that just went right up to the camera and wanted to get a face shot right away.
Right.
But yeah, 64 pounds though. That's a big turtle.
That is a big turtle. That's pretty heavy to carry. I mean, obviously, I know this couch weighs a little bit more. So.
Yeah, a little bit more than 64 pounds. I know people complain about their cats when they get up to, 20 or more pounds. They're like, it's just a, little pumpkin of theirs. But 64, that's rather large.
For sure, but at least for a cat, though, if it gets a little too chunky, for lack of a better term, you can at least try to find some diet plans or exercise plans. And make that cat exercise a bit and burn off that weight.
Lure it on the treadmill with a little treat.
For sure. What I've seen done with cats before is, and dogs as well, when they're trying to lose a few pounds, they'll put them in a little bit of a treadmill, but in water too, so it's making them work harder.
Boy.
So I've seen this done.
Well, this next story won't be in water, but there's some llama drama for police in Fairfax County, Virginia. The llama was spotted running along the Fairfax County Parkway when police were called into action. After a few misses, animal control was finally able to catch up with the llama in a backyard and safely secured it. Good news, the 20-year-old llama, whose name is Colby, has been reunited with her owner. She apparently escaped from her enclosure last week and is now resting comfortably after her adventure across northern Virginia.
What do I say here? This is why we can't have nice things.
My goodness, I love it. Some llama drama. Llamas on the escape.
Oh, dear.
That's cool. I like the nighttime drone footage of it's like a perp they're really chasing down.
And that's the challenging part when trying to catch a llama. Obviously, our eyes are better than any camera that's out there, but obviously kind of hard to see a llama when you're trying to catch it at night.
Exactly. I mean, how do you even go about hunting a llama at night? Where's the instruction guide for that?
Infrared cameras, maybe?
Infrared cameras, yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, because temperatures, because llamas put out heat.
Oh, yeah. The temperature, speaking of which, you could really tell a llama around here now.
Oh, for sure, yeah, because it's cold outside, the llama's warm, and your 3-day forecast showing that the llamas will continue to be visible from infrared cameras, but the snow continues to fall as well. One more coming up after the break.
We sell anything freedom, firearms, ammunition, parts, and accessories. We specialize in custom-built rifles and fully equipped setup hunting rifles. Our focus is on you and delivering one-of-a-kind products. Embrace your freedom at Northwoods Firearms in Crandon.
Ever dream of a charming toy store with unique toys, games, and puzzles? A store that encourages unplugged and active play, discovery, and imagination. It's real, it's Imaginuity. Visit our beautiful new store in Minocqua soon.
For every holiday, for everyone. Ritz, a taste of welcome.
When the hands that do the fixing need fixing. When the hands that do the caring need caring. That's a job for O'Keeffe's Working Hands. It's America's #1 selling hand cream and guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked hands. Also available in O'Keeffe's Lip Repair.
Menke Automotive is your new neighbor in central Wisconsin, so now you've got a friend in the auto business. Menke Automotive prides ourselves on having happy employees, because happy employees make for happy customers. When you need a new Buick, GMC, or Mazda, expert service, precision body work, or just a hot cup of coffee, come in and get to know us at Menke Automotive at the old Fred Miller location on Grand Avenue in Schofield. Menke Automotive, your new neighbors in central Wisconsin.
Looking for that unique holiday gift? A gift basket from Lake Nokomis Cranberries will brighten anyone's holiday. Custom gift baskets are available online at LakeNokomisCranberries.com or visit the gift shop on County D.
Welcome to the one and only Lakeland Furniture in Minocqua. Same great location, plus added lines of furniture and an all-new mattress section. Lakeland Furniture and Mattress, Highway 51 South, Minocqua.
This portion of Newswatch 12 is brought to you by Furniture and Appliance Mart.
On Christmas Day, the Rhinelander Lions Club will be giving away free turkey dinners at the Triggs in Rhinelander. Just drive up to Triggs Deli Express entrance and tell them how many dinners you would like. Triggs itself will be closed on Christmas Day, but the express entrance will be open just for dinner giveaways from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. If you are in need of a home delivery and live within 10 miles of Triggs, you can call 715-420-0523 to arrange one. The Lions Club has been giving out free Christmas dinners in Rhinelander for over 40 years. My goodness, that's a long time to be giving out the free dinners, but I'm sure a lot of people have appreciated it over that long stretch of time. And you know who else would appreciate a hot meal or just warmth in general is Devin Biggs out on our weather deck. It looks a little chilly out there, Devin.
Yeah, it is a little chilly out here. Anything warm right now? Honestly, just enjoying my apartment. Probably wouldn't be too bad right now either. Anything kind of warm and cozy. But meanwhile, though, nice winter wonderland out here with a little bit more snow on the ground. We're up to 13 inches of snow on the ground at this point, and it continues to fall here and also in the parts of Minocqua. So the plows are going to be busy today working to get those roads cleared up, and the road conditions are not very good either. Let's take a look at that map right now. And for the most part, it's going to be pretty tricky out there with many areas seeing snow or ice-covered roads at this point. This is the latest observation. I'm seeing more blue popping up, so it looks like that the snowmobile the crews are working on getting the roadways a little bit more cleared up or at least treated. But the radar in Sally watching is still tracking from the west, going toward the east, so it's going to be tricky out there today, especially once the wind picks up later on. Here's the travel forecast moving forward. Again, we'll see temperatures now pretty chilly across the western parts of the state, single digits if not below zero. For us, though, here we go. We have snow that'll be falling for us as well as we pan this map to the east with temperatures that'll be in the teens early and then falling during the afternoon. A little bit warmer to the south, though, with some temperatures in the 30s. I hear music, and it's time for the Birthday Club.
Book your reservation today for a sleigh ride this holiday season at Rocking W Stables in Eagle River. Scenic rides through the winter wonderland with a pit stop at a roaring fire. Enjoy hot cocoa while creating great memories with friends and family.
Enjoy the beauty of the season at Trader's. Find an outfit for the party. Get inspired by our unique trees and old world Christmas ornaments.
Set the scene for entertaining and celebrate. Happy holidays!
You can get any phone you want.
Any one I want?
Any phone you want.
Connection is the greatest gift of all. At U.S. Cellular, we're offering any phone free for new and current customers, plus $100 to spend on accessories.
Trucks, trucks, trucks. Home Furniture and Design has truck after truck arriving daily with loads of La-Z-Boy furniture. Come in and find a genuine La-Z-Boy recliner, sofa, sectional, or power chair to kick back and relax, and take it home with you today. The best recliner available in the world at amazing low prices. And you can pick it out and take it with you today at Home Furniture and Design, West Grand Avenue, Wisconsin Rapids, and Post Road in Plover.
When the owners of Kelk Land Improvement and Kelk Septic Service of Woodruff want the forecast for the Northwoods, they go to WJFW.com and check their hometown weather.
Available 24/7 at WJFW.com.
Bye-bye cough.
Later chest congestion. Hello, 12 hours of relief.
12 hours? Not coughing? Hashtag still not coughing?
Mucinex DM gives you 12 hours of relief from chest congestion and any type of cough, day or night. Mucinex DM. It's comeback season.
Welcome. What can I help with today? We're looking for unique gifts for our friends and family. Well, you've come to the right place. Stop on in before it's all gone. Christmas is coming. It won't be long.
We've got quirky characters, seed bells, and decor.
Come on into Wild Birds Unlimited. There's so much to explore.
Lovely little gifts for family and friends. Attract birds to your yard. The fun never ends.
Only at Wild Birds Unlimited of Wausau.
What is Steve's job? Steve's job is the custodian of the school district. I mean, Steve is literally all over that school.
Right now on Newswatch 12 today, we have the details of the horrific trial where the accused is again found guilty of his crime. Plus,
we have snow continuing to move in, and that's going to make travel a little bit tricky, especially as the winds pick up. Your full forecast is coming out.
And find out the taxes paid, or better yet, not paid by former President Trump during his last year in office. It's Thursday, December 22nd.
Newswatch 12 today with Michael Lodeholtz and Devin Biggs.
Welcome back. All trails in Oneida and Vilas County's snowmobile trail system will officially open Friday morning at 8 a.m. All lake and river trails are considered unsafe and should not be used unless they have been clearly marked by a local snowmobile club. Off-trail riding is trespassing and could result in closure or loss of trails and citations or fines that go with it. With the anticipated winter storm, including high winds and blowing snow going into the Christmas holiday weekend, please use extreme caution while riding. Downed trees and low-hanging branches may be encountered. The trails are considered to be in rough early season condition, so take that into consideration while enjoying the trails. Devin, it's going to be a wild wintry mix we've got today and tomorrow and into the weekend, and I'm glad that, people are going to be cautious when out there on the snowmobile trails. And how's it going to be looking for everyone else on the roads?
Yeah, everyone needs to be cautious whether you're snowmobiling on Friday or just traveling this morning in general, like this car right here right now. Looks like it's taking it nice and slow, which you definitely need to, because the roads are definitely snow covered. It's that fluffy snow, so maybe not as slippery, but we've had plenty of snow already, and of course not much of a warm-up for the roads to really recover. So of course more snow does continue to fall. And look at the advisories right here. Everyone under at least something. This right here is a winter storm warning that's in effect until 6 a.m. as we head towards your Saturday. Areas to the north, though, some areas under blizzard warnings. That's what this orange shade is. And that is also in effect until 6 p.m. Saturday. Same with the winter storm warnings in the UP. So they're in effect longer. For us, though, expiring at 6 a.m. as we head towards Saturday morning. But otherwise, though, here we go. More snow continues to fall, tracking from the west, going toward the east, and we'll watch for another wave of snow to move in as the day progresses on. By about Friday evening, or later this evening, I should say, that's when most of this will begin to taper off. But here's the big line right here. All it's tracking all the way down towards parts of the Midwestern states. So there's plenty of activity currently taking place with the system moving in. A quick look at the temperatures right now. We're currently in the single digits and teens as temperatures do continue to fall. We've already hit our high temperatures for the day. Temperatures will continue to fall throughout the day into the single digits. And of course, that's well below our average high of 26 degrees.
Stavros Iliopoulos was found guilty of child sex crimes in 2019, but the former Northwoods janitor had the ruling thrown out because of ineffective support from his previous attorneys. This week was his second trial, but the verdict is the same. A jury found Iliopoulos guilty on all 3 charges. Closing arguments and final testimonies wrapped up on Wednesday. The defense argued that because Iliopoulos was the janitor, his DNA was everywhere, and it easily could have rubbed off on the victim. Throughout the trial, Iliopoulos was referred to as Steve because that's what he was called at the school.
What is Steve's job? Steve's job is the custodian of the school district. I mean, Steve is literally all over that school.
That argument was based on DNA testimony that was given on Tuesday. During closing arguments, the state argued that security footage tied Iliopoulos to the allegations.
Straight into the bathroom to do her business and go back to class. What does he do? When you look at the camera, he's walking down the long hallway. In just seconds after he goes out of the screen, he turns around and comes back. Nothing in his hands on the way down, nothing in his hands on the way back.
The jury found Iliopoulos guilty on all 3 counts. Sentencing will be at 2 p.m. on February 10th. And a house caught on fire in Sugar Camp on Wednesday. At about 2 o'clock, authorities were called about a house fire that had started off of County Road A. Firefighters were on the scene within minutes, and where the fire started to grow and make its way to the roof before they were able to contain it. Responders at the scene said the fire started in the basement of the home. No one was injured in the fire. 3 Lakes, Sugar Camp, and Pine Lake fire departments all responded to the call. And traffic on Highway 51 was stopped and rerouted on Wednesday after a multi-vehicle crash around 1:50 p.m. in the afternoon. The crash occurred south of State Road 64 exit in the town of Pine River. Pine River Fire Department and first responders responded to the incident, as did numerous other agencies. No serious injuries were reported, and it took just over an hour to clear the vehicles and get the highway back up and running. Road conditions are expected to continue to get worse, so take extra caution while out driving. The Lincoln County Board has approved declaring the county a Second Amendment sanctuary. According to the resolution, the board declares intent to oppose unconstitutional restrictions on the right to keep and bear arms. The measure passed 15-4. This comes as a growing number of cities and counties have made these declarations, including the city of Merrill and Langlade County. A local representative has been appointed chair of a state legislative committee. Republican James Edming of Glen Flora will serve as chairman of the Assembly Committee on Veterans and Military Affairs. Edming said in a statement that he's looking forward to leading this committee to support veterans and active duty service members. Edming serves Taylor, Rusk, Sawyer, and Northwest Marathon County. Former President Trump didn't pay a single dollar in federal income tax in his final year in office. That's according to a report from the Congressional Joint Committee on Taxation. The report included details on the former president's tax returns from 2015 to 2020. In 2017, he paid just $750. Trump paid $1.1 million in federal tax in 2018 and 2019. The committee says Trump has leveraged massive losses he accumulated over the years to zero out his tax liabilities. The news comes after the House Ways and Means Committee voted to release 6 years of Trump's tax documents to the public. The redacted release is expected in a matter of days. And House Republicans have released their own report on January 6th, on the same day the Democrat-led House Select Committee planned to release its final report. The House Select Committee delayed that release, but it did put out an executive summary on Monday, laying the blame squarely on Trump. Wednesday's report from House Republicans focuses on a breakdown in intelligence sharing, Capitol security, and a failure of coordination between various law enforcement agencies that day. But the GOP report is silent on other efforts to disrupt the transfer of presidential power after the 2020 election, and selective in its criticism of political leaders and their culpability in the security breakdowns on January 6th, glossing over former President Trump's own role entirely. The GOP report comes from the 5 Republicans who Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy initially appointed to serve on the Select Committee before deciding members of his party would not participate. The Republican National Committee has announced the dates for its 2024 National Convention. It will be July 15th through the 18th. It will be held in Milwaukee, where the RNC will formally select the next Republican presidential nominee. It approved Milwaukee as the host city back in August. Milwaukee was originally supposed to host the 2020 Democratic National Convention before it was switched to a virtual format due to the pandemic. The Democratic National Committee hasn't yet picked a city for its 2024 convention. And Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky made his first known trip outside of Ukraine since Russia invaded the country more than 300 days ago. Zelensky met with President Biden yesterday before addressing members of Congress, assuring lawmakers that their financial support isn't going to waste. NBC's Bree Jackson has more.
An historic moment on Capitol Hill. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky leaving his war-torn country and addressing a joint meeting of Congress.
Against all odds and doom and gloom scenarios, Ukraine didn't fall. Ukraine is alive and kicking.
The steadfast leader, dressed in his signature fatigues, giving thanks to the U.S. for providing weapons and financial support, and presenting this flag to lawmakers.
This flag is a symbol of our victory. In this war, we stand, we fight, and we will win because we are united.
Zelensky also tweeting a behind-the-scenes video of his visit to the White House, where President Biden is pledging aid for as long as it takes.
Mr. President, you don't have to worry. We are staying with Ukraine.
The president announcing the U.S. will provide Ukraine with a Patriot missile defense system.
It's not escalatory, it's defensive.
The wartime trip comes ahead of a transition of power in Washington, D.C. Republicans take control of the House next month, and GOP leader Kevin McCarthy has said his party will not write a blank check for Ukraine. Other lawmakers say defeating Russian aggression remains a top priority.
I hope we stay united in support of Ukraine.
Your money is not charity. It's an investment in the global security and democracy.
Zelensky also sending a message to Americans, wishing them peace as his country prepares for a winter of war. In Washington, Bree Jackson for NBC News.
Coming up next in sports, see how the Hodags squared up on the ice and if they managed to get back in their winning ways. Plus, the Packers are facing down a tough opponent for Christmas Day. See what their plan of attack is. Plus,
the pressure continues to track off towards the east and will soon really intensify and give us gusty winds. Your full local forecast is coming up next.
Today, we're making a fancy-looking main dish that promises to be the star of your holiday table.
Ho, ho, ho! What do you want for Christmas?
Santa, this beaver dam tip-up is very cool.
Merry Christmas from Trinity Lutheran Church and School and Child Care Center here in Merrill, Wisconsin, and a very happy New Year. Happy birthday, Jesus!
Some numbers are thrilling. Some impressive. Some just right. After an accident, there's one critical number. The number that helps you get your life back by factoring in your needs for today and tomorrow. That's where Habish and Rotier's numbers really add up. With over 90 years of client successes and 13 offices to help you wherever you are. No other personal injury law firm is better suited to get the amount that's right for you.
This Christmas, rock their world with a gift from Wickersham Jewelry. They have the hottest styles in diamonds and gold. You can even surprise her with rare polar pink sapphires. Check out silver and diamond jewelry that is essential to every woman's wardrobe. Take advantage of interest-free financing programs. And don't forget the men in your life with stocking stuffers starting at only $59. And of course, more diamonds and gold for her stocking. Visit Wickersham Jewelry, Rothschild, Marshfield, and Rhinelander.
Bye-bye cough.
Later chest congestion. Hello, 12 hours of relief.
12 hours? Not coughing? Hashtag still not coughing?
Mucin XDM gives you 12 hours of relief from chest congestion and any type of cough, day or night. Mucin XDM. It's comeback season.
Get the most out of the winter ski season with Newswatch 12 Ski and Board Report. Find the latest slope conditions for ski hills across northern Wisconsin and the UP. On air and online. Brought to you by Ski Brule in Iron River.
Welcome back. Let's get right into things this morning. We have winter storm warnings remaining in effect until 6 a.m. Saturday. Note today is Thursday. Blizzard warnings also up for at least parts of areas of Michigan. That is also up until 6 p.m. And the UP also up until 6 p.m. for the blizzard warnings. And also some areas further off for the north remaining under winter storm warnings until 6 p.m. too. So the times are going to vary just a bit though, because we also have some lake effect snow that we'll be watching out for. Let's give you a bigger picture. Look at all the advisories in effect here, ranging from wind chill warnings to wind chill advisories, of course blizzard warnings, winter storm warnings, and of course more wind chill alerts further down toward the south, and even some hard freeze watches and warnings in effect too, even down into parts of Florida, places that don't normally experience cold temperatures this time of the year, and yet they're experiencing it all the way further down to the south, and yes, even Texas dealing with some of it as well. Let's zoom things back in and talk about our things right now. So we're dealing with some snow that's tracking from the west going toward the east, some of the heavier snows in between Wausau and Green Bay right now, so it might make things a little tricky from time to time as well. We'll throw the radar into motion. Snow does continue to fall. We'll have a little bit more moving in as the day progresses on. Then later on tonight, though, things will begin to back off a bit as we become more of a blowing snow event with some lake effect snow mixing in from time to time. Here's the area low pressure tracking off towards the east, really intensifying later on today and in parts of tonight as it tracks off. So once it gets going, the winds will really pick up. And of course, some areas will experience some snow courtesy of Lake Superior, which is still pretty open. So futurecast moving forward, here's the snow that will continue to fall later on today, backing out by about 5 o'clock in the evening from southwest to northeast, but still a few snow showers cannot be ruled out then either. That's not as more organized, but we'll still have some lake effect snow showers sneaking in as we head towards Friday and even into parts of Saturday. And with a pressure gradient this tight, it'll be blowing some of that snow around on the ground too, because it's that fluffy snow. And of course, gusty winds up to 40 to 50 miles per hour will also be possible. Travel will be a nightmare at times, both on the ground and in the air. So today and tomorrow, definitely the best days to not travel. And if you must travel, definitely pack your patience, allow some extra time, and have an emergency kit ready to go if you must need it. But otherwise, so here we go. So 1 to 2 inches of additional snowfall between now and early Friday morning around 2 a.m., even a little bit more further off towards the north and east, and over in parts of the UP, even more possible, courtesy of the lake effect machine kicking in. Some areas seeing up to maybe 15 to 20 inches up in parts of the UP before they're all finished up there, and that's courtesy of the lake effect machine kicking in there. And this is all because of this system that's going to do this. It's really intensify. When we see it doing something like this, that's what we call a bomb cyclone or bombogenesis, basically a rapidly intensifying system in a short amount of time. So strong winds up to 40 to 50 miles per hour possible over a wide open Lake Superior, which is why we're going to be dealing with more of the lake effect snow Friday and also into parts of Saturday before it starts to taper off as we head towards your Sunday. Now the gusty winds down the northwest at around 25 to even 35 miles per hour at times as well. So we're going to be dealing with that moving forward. And even by tomorrow, gusts up to 30, even 40, even 50 miles per hour, I should say. So around 40 to 50 miles per hour will be the general idea as we head towards your Friday. Roads are a mess out there already. 501 Wisconsin reporting some snow-covered roads in some areas in the pink and the blue shade, improving just a bit as some areas is now just some slippery stretches at this point. Here's the temperatures here. Temperatures in the single digits and even some teens. We've already hit our high temperatures for the day. Was off toward the west. We'll be moving in our direction very quickly. And of course, factoring in the wind chills too, this will be heading in our direction as well. So wind chills will fall to around 20 to 25 below at times. So we forecast for today, 12 degrees. Our high temperature being hit already. Snow and wind with some blowing snow as well. That west wind getting up to about 25 miles per hour. Tonight, 8 below, snow and wind, some blowing snow as well. The northwest wind gusting up to around 40 miles per hour at times. Northwoods Furniture and Mattress 7-day forecast. More gusty winds and blowing snow on Friday. Most of it will be lake effect, lingering into parts of Christmas Eve as well, although the winds still pretty gusty at times, but the snow will start to back off. Then finally calming down as we head towards Christmas Day and beyond, and temperatures warming up as we head towards next week. Michael?
Thanks, Devin. With snowstorms forcing school cancellations, multiple high school sporting events had to postpone. However, one game was able to play a day early. Rhinelander versus Marshfield in boys hockey. Saul Meyer was there yesterday to catch up on the action.
The Rhinelander boys hockey team was supposed to be in action against Marshfield today, but thanks to the weather, Christmas and the game came early this year. The Hodags were looking to bounce back from their first loss of the season and get back in the win column last night. Let's see if they did it. Now, we all know the Hodag was ready, so let's see if the players were too. Well, One player that was for sure ready was Hodag goalie Tyler Kimmerling. Here in the second period, he blocks this shot and dives on the puck for the save, laying his whole body out on the line. Later that period, here he is again deflecting shots. This kid is a brick wall. The Hodag defense was great all night, but what about that offense? An absolute laser from Leo Loesch almost goes 5-hole, but Cole Halverson is able to block it. Now, I know this is hockey, but we got a basketball play here. The ISO from Lane Rozier. He calls his own number and threads the needle for the Hodag goal, and they end up winning this one big time, 4-1. And just like that, Rhinelander's back in the win column. The Green Bay Packers have a winning streak again after their 24-12 victory over the LA Rams on Monday. Their longest winning streak of the season is 3 games, and if they want to match that, they've got to take down the 5th-ranked offense in the NFL, the Dolphins, in Miami. The Dolphins have been red hot this season, especially on the offensive side. Wide receivers Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle both rank in the top 10 in receiving yards this season. Conversely, though, the Packers' passing defense currently ranks 20th in the NFL in yards allowed. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur says that it's going to be a challenge to stop that offense, especially with a shot at the playoffs on the line.
It's going to be a great challenge for us, just in terms of being able to limit those explosive plays and really slow down the offense, because you can see they can score in a hurry.
Another thing Coach LaFleur says his team needs to watch out for is the amount of explosive and scoring plays that the Dolphins can bust out at any moment.
Whether it's on a quick pass, whether it's on a play pass, whether it's on a run, whether it's on somebody fumbling the ball and, you know, the ball squirting out of the pile and him picking it up and taking it to the house. They can score a lot of different ways.
The Packers and Dolphins will square off on Christmas Day this Sunday at noon. Back to y'all, morning crew.
Coming up, see how one model train display is gearing up for a Christmas in downtown Minocqua. But first, Howard is in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen with a recipe to slow roasted beef tenderloin.
Mr. Food Test Kitchen is brought to you by Golden Carrot Jewelers and Creative Kitchen and Bath Studio.
With Christmas just days away, if you haven't decided what to serve, it's time to get serious. My suggestion, if you want to go all out, serve beef tenderloin. It's easy, it'll melt in your mouth, and it goes with anything from your favorite potato casserole to an oversized pan of lasagna. This is a whole beef tenderloin. You can buy it like this, which is considered trimmed. It's a little bit more expensive than buying it untrimmed, but this way, there's no waste. Now, depending on how many people you're expecting, you can roast the whole thing or use half and freeze the rest like we're doing today. Either way, we season it with some kosher salt, garlic powder, and freshly ground pepper, and sear it in a skillet or a grill pan to seal in the juices before finishing it off in the oven. And while it roasts, we'll whip up a flavor-packed mushroom sauce to serve over it. And when you bring this to the table and ladle on the savory sauce, all eyes will be focused on how juicy it is. As a matter of fact, I can't think of a better Christmas present for your taste buds than this. To get the recipe for our slow roasted beef tenderloin, along with the mushroom sauce, all you have to do is visit our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a fancy holiday way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Community is a crucial part of how and why we do business. Of course, we sell and provide service, but we also strive to be a good neighbor by getting involved and giving back. Thank you for allowing us to reach great milestones in the community we call home.
Eagle River Roasters, your Northwoods coffee roaster and community coffee house, has the freshest specialty coffee and tea in the Northwoods. Our coffee comes from choice Arabica beans, hand-blended and roasted on-premise for the finest specialty drinks. Fresh bakery, breakfast, and lunch served daily, our comfortable coffee house is the perfect place for meeting friends or groups. The drive-thru is also open daily. Treat yourself with a great cup of coffee or take some beans to brew at home, fresh from Eagle River Roasters, your Northwoods coffee roaster and community coffee house.
2 loads of snot-covered laundry. Only 1 will be sanitized.
Wait, what?
Adding Lysol laundry sanitizer kills 99.9% of bacteria. Detergent alone can't. Clean is good. Sanitized is better.
Newswatch 12's Dan Hagan, Jessica Jukic, and meteorologist Jeff Weller bring you the news and weather of the Northwoods. Alongside the Newswatch 12 team, they are committed to the community and ensuring the local stories make headlines. The Newswatch 12 team works hard to deliver the most important news from where you live, as well as local weather reports. Watch Dan, Jessica, and Jeff weeknights on WJFW NBC 12. Get the latest news on the weekends with Newswatch 12. Saturday and Sunday at 10 with your weekend news team. Kyle Pazorski, Mohammed Abdul Kawi, and Conrad Sipinski. Newswatch 12.
Community is a crucial part of how and why we do business. Of course, we sell and provide service, but we also strive to be a good neighbor by getting involved and giving back. Thank you for allowing us to reach great milestones in the community we call home.
Newswatch 12 Today with Michael Lodeholtz and Devin Biggs.
Welcome back. Everyone loves a model train meandering along the track underneath a beautifully lit Christmas tree. And if you've ever seen one of those in your own home, or even if you if you've never seen them, perhaps, some people don't do that. I know we used to actually do it back at my own house. We tried to. Then we kept on losing tracks and cars, and it was a whole mess. But you can go and check out the Christmas Train Village show hosted by the Northwoods Model Railroad Club. This amazing display is set up in the train station shops in downtown Minocqua. You can visit the Christmas Train Village from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Saturday until the new year. They will close at 1 p.m. on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. Catch a little Christmas wonder this holiday season right in Minocqua.
And that's really cool to definitely see. I'm sure a lot of hard work that goes into that right there.
That's an extensive set. That's a massive village right there.
Right.
You could put a lot of Christmas trees on display there.
For sure, yeah. And this makes me think of another model train display too, and that's definitely more of a permanent fixture that you get to see during the warmer months. And you're smiling. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is it Pioneer Park?
It is Pioneer Park.
It's Pioneer Park.
It is Pioneer Park. Yeah.
When we were coming into work, I saw it. We drove by it. We all drive by it. And it was lit up so well. I've got to tell them down there at the Pioneer Park. I think Carrie Bladorn's probably responsible for a lot of that. They did a great job down there.
Oh yeah, I'm also talking about the model set downstairs too.
Is it model set?
You haven't been there? You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen a model set at the Pioneer Park.
No, it's up to the train. It's a train set in the basement of that building. That's right behind what do you call it? That big train thingy. I can't come up with the right words right now, so if Carrie Bladorn's watching, I apologize. But otherwise, either way, though, this looks really good up in Minocqua.
Yes.
Pioneer Park, well decorated.
Lots of trains everywhere in the Northwoods.
Right, but you know what else is everywhere?
Trivia.
You know where this is going.
There we go.
Trivia question for today. What year did the Green Bay National Weather Service office last issue a blizzard warning? Was it 2019, 2020, 2021, or has it been this year already? The answer when we come back.
What kind of popcorn do you think you want today?
Hi, Tom.
Hi, I'm here to fill my bucket.
That's great. I'd like you to meet our new owners, Jim and Pam.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Cheesy Caramel.
Same great company and products, just with new faces as the owners of Minocqua Popcorn and Puffs.
Hi, I'm Dr. Justin Scher, DC with the Spinal Aid Center of Wausau. Are you one of the millions of people suffering with the symptoms of peripheral neuropathy? Your symptoms may include numbness and tingling in your feet or hands, difficulty sleeping from leg or foot discomfort, and debilitating balance problems. I have good news for you. You can now get relief with our breakthrough treatment method without the use of drugs or surgery. Our treatments help to heal damaged nerves that cause peripheral neuropathy. If left untreated, you may eventually end up with a walker or wheelchair, so don't delay. Call our office now to schedule an appointment to see if our treatment methods are right for you. We will do a painless neuropathy severity exam to determine the amount of nerve loss. If you qualify for our treatment, it can truly change your life. Start living your life pain-free. Call today.
Looking for that unique holiday gift? A gift basket from Lake Nokomis Cranberries will brighten anyone's holiday. Custom gift baskets are available. Online at LakeNocomasCranberries.com or visit the gift shop on County D.
Like visions of sugar plums, find fishing poles, tip-ups, lures, and all of the gear the anglers on your list have ever dreamed of. Oh, what fun are the unique gifts and decor items you can find in town. And without a doubt, everything imaginable for dashing through the snow can be found here. Happy holidays from all of us in St. Germain. Thank you for shopping local.
Two loads of snot-covered laundry. Only one will be sanitized.
Wait, what?
Adding Lysol laundry sanitizer kills 99.9% of bacteria. Detergent alone can't. Clean is good. Sanitized is better.
Eagle Floor Covering in Eagle River, locally owned and operated for over 2 decades. With over 40 years of combined quality sales and service experience, we can help you find the right floor for your lifestyle and budget.
And a special birthday shout out to Minocqua Popcorn winner this morning, Connor McGeishik from Crandon. Happy birthday and congratulations. You won a half-gallon bucket of gourmet popcorn from Minocqua Popcorn.
Alrighty, trivia for today. What year did the National Weather Service office in Green Bay last issue a blizzard warning?
Goodness, this is tough. These are 2022. We're going 2022.
You thinking this year?
Yes, going this year. Come on.
Not yet, at least. Not yet, at least. February 24th, 2019, I remember that. I actually spent the night here at the station that night because I was afraid if I went home, I would be able to get back in. So that was a weekend nose, so we just had the weekend shows by that point. So
was that the last time you stayed overnight at the news station?
That was the last time I stayed overnight at the news station. So,
what a shame.
So yeah, so I doubt we'll be dealing with that this time. So yeah, I remember that. I even brought my air mattress in, so I could really sleep comfortably. But otherwise, here we go. Winter storm warnings in effect until 6 a.m. on Saturday. They're in effect right now. Not too far away. Look like they'll get big in Ontonagon County. They're under blizzard warnings as well. Again, so accumulating still means nothing when it comes to a blizzard warning. It's all about reduced visibility and the snow being blown around. Let's zoom things out. We're dealing with some snow already. It's tracking to the east. Doesn't look like much, but again, it's all about the wind and how strong the system's going to get as it does develop. Another couple inches of snow possible today before we're all finished up there, maybe a little bit more to the north and east, but then that snow's going to blow around. We'll get us up to 40 to 50 miles per hour at times. It'll start to back off as we head towards Christmas Eve. Christmas Day looking better as Michael imitates my hands.
Exactly. It's always entertaining to see Devin doing his weather hand signals. It's a fun time, and it's very important to stay safe upcoming.
Stay safe.
Be very cautious on the roads when you're driving.
Take care of your animals,
Take care of your animals, and think about everyone this upcoming holiday season. Now, that's all of us from us here at Newswatch 12. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
If your family struggles with food insecurity, call the Family Food Helpline.
Good Thursday morning. Those holiday travel troubles beginning to mount as that powerful storm sweeps.
A little blah moment during that 5:30 hour, but there. And Andrew's back. That means we have to have the music back for Roker. I miss the music. I love the music. You like it? Yeah. If anything, the only feedback I have, maybe make it a little bit louder where people can at least hear it when I'm talking. Not too loud, but obviously. You want me to make it louder? A little louder, yeah. Okay. At least where you can, enough where you can hear it in the background while I'm talking. And I try. So like bring it in a little earlier? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, enough. And I trust your judgment there, so see how this works.